Hey everybody, just finished wrapping up recording sessions for the Tax Lave album. The name of the album is called Finally, and it's 14 songs long, and I finished it this morning, and I'm really proud of it. Now, of course, have to do the kind of final bits, like selecting the track order and getting it pressed and all that kind of stuff. But so here's how I did it. So there's the mixing board, and I ran things. I plugged my microphones into a snake into the mixing board, and then the here's some of the microphones that I used. This is the main workhorse. This is a condenser microphone, and then I used here just the old Shure microphone. For some things, I used the Shure microphone on Televirus and Banjo Boy. Anything that went through with Televirus and Banjo Boy, this microphone went through a distortion unit. So, and anyway, it goes out of the mixing board, and then it went into the 4-track machine. Now, Tascam disingenuously calls this a 6-track machine, which is a total false advertising. It's a 4-track. See, so it's mono, stereo. You see that? I know that's blurry, but it's a 4-track machine, right? So just because tracks 3 and 4 are stereo, they call it a 6-track. It's total baloney. Anyway, it records onto an SD card that goes into the back there. And then this is the drum machine. This did a lot of work. And there's the drum pattern for Talking Head. And then I ran all that out into some near-field monitors here. Those came in handy. There's the other one, and there's Soundwave. And here's some of the pedals I use. So this was by far the best friend I had during the recording sessions. A compressor. This fixed so many vocal problems. I had a lot of problems keeping the volume level of the microphones consistent, and a compressor largely fixed that. Then let's see some other stuff. Oh, here's the old tape machine from back in the day. You see that thing from Walmart? I recorded the Ballad of Jason Bargard on that back in the day. And let's see, what are some things? Okay, so there's my most faithful companion here. Rhesus was around for all of the recording sessions, virtually, because they were all done in the middle of the night. So, and then I got to talk about this. So this is the amp I used for like almost everything. And the reason why I use this is because it has a DI on it. That's a DI with a speaker emulation on it. So it simulates the sound of a 412 cab. And it was important that I use this style of amplifier for this because I did most of the recording for Finally in the dead of night. So Julie, my significant other, she's upstairs asleep, and I'm down here in the basement, playing heavy metal. So that's how I did it. I also like this orange amp because it had a foot switch. So I could go between the clean and the dirty sound. you know, and which, you know, you normally don't find on this type of amp. It sounded really good for being solid state. It really was nice, and it had a tuner built in, which, you know, I can't tell you how handy that thing came in. And then, so here are some of the pedals that I use besides the compressor. You know, there's the old Boss delay, and that thing, I wired that up to a tap tempo, so it would be the repeats would happen on the beat, and that was really heavily used on Phony Moon Mission. There's the compressor, another compressor. And I used some guitar compression on Bill of Rights for the solo. And then there's a chorus pedal. You know, there's a couple tracks where I used chorus pedals. Weather Control, Fat Rat, others. And a different chorus pedal. Then this here is an auto wah. I used that on Phony Moon Mission. And okay, so here's the coolest part. Here are all my buddies. All right, here's the Slavocaster. I got to remove those stickers and get the Tax Slave logo back. But this got used on Bill of Rights, and I needed a single coil sound for that, and this was perfect for it. That was the only track I used it on, ironically. And then this is a Ibanez Artcore or Art Star or something, and this was used for rocking with Epstein, because I needed a rockabilly guitar for that, and it did all right. And then here's the Steinberger, and this thing looks like it's from a Star Wars movie or something. This was the main guitar for Moonlight Sonata. And then here's my big jazz arch top. That obviously got used for Let Us Gig. That was the rhythm guitar for that. It has very thick strings on it, and so it made all those jazz chords sound really good. Because if you use really flimsy strings playing that style of music, you're gonna bend those altered chords out of tune, which are already dissonant enough. And there's my Les Paul. That got used on War on Drugs. And then here's another one of the main guitars I used on this record, my Paul Reed Smith. This was, I used this a lot. I used this on the solo for War on Drugs, and I used it on other guitar solos. And then there's my jazz bass. You know, I used that on Let Us Gig and other tracks. A lot of the tracks though were computer based though, and the computer bass sounded. I intended to overdub the computer bass or erase it, but it's wound up sounding pretty good. Then here is, strangely enough, this is the main workhorse of the album. I did so much stuff with this guitar. It's a Jim Root Telecaster, and it has EMG 8185s in it. So these are active pickups. They are just insanely hot, and so they make it really easy to do the pick harmonics heard on Televirus and other songs. So that was that got a lot of use. Here's my drum set. It never made it on the album, but it was used for a practice demo for 2 songs on the album. In my amazing sheet music collection, Judas Priest, maybe my favorite band of all time. Rush, maybe them. Then here's the synthesizer I used on Phony Moon Mission and Weather Control. This guitar didn't get used. Thanks for watching. You finally will be available on iTunes very soon. Sorry about the mess. I know my room it's been a war zone recording this thing.